Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hope everyone is doing well. Kind of bear with me a second here. We want to try to make sure that everything is working properly this evening before we get our this evening started. Um, Let me start by saying uh, I've missed you guys. Been away for a minute, but I'm happy to be back. Um, it's been an adventure. It appears that everything is up and running. Give me just one more moment here. For those that don't know, the Convo with BMAC started about 3 years ago, maybe almost four. Um, it came about because of some things that were going on in my life. And I was fortunate enough to have some really good people around me to encourage me to step out on faith because I was looking for just a space where it was okay for men to talk about what they were going through. Because I grew up in an era of where that just wasn't a thing. Um, men just did. You didn't feel. But thankfully, I had some really good friends around me that encouraged me to create a combo with BMAC, and here we are, several years and several episodes later, still trying to create that safe space. Well, not trying to create that safe space because it is here, but uh, with this safe space for others to talk about these things that we normally don't talk about because mental health and things of that nature are very important. They're very vital to each and every person. Tonight's guest is I won't say a frequent visitor, but she's been here a few times, Miss Jamie Kirk, and we're grateful to have her again tonight. And our goal tonight, we're going to talk about the weight of silence, why men hide their emotion. Um, I felt like this was a really important topic that we need to circle back to. I've talked about it before, but I feel like we need to discuss it again to kind of as we trend toward the end of Men's Mental Health Month. Well, excuse me, not men, but Mental Health Awareness Month. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in Miss Jamie Kirk. What's going
Hello,
on?
hello, hello, hello. Look, audience round of applause.
Look. Whenever I figure out how to get that little sound effect, I got you. Whenever I'm be like, bring my guest in and go,
I I have a box. If you need it, I'll send it to you.
you got a little applause box. Oh, yeah.
As a matter of fact, it's right here charging. It's right
Ah,
here charging.
see. Oh, you fancy. You fancy.
I I'm not gonna use it. I'm gonna learn how to use it. I'll send it to you.
Okay. Since you're not even gonna learn how to use, just go ahead. You just go and shoot
Yeah,
it to me. I got just gonna shoot it to me,
yeah,
and I'll figure it out for the both of us.
yeah. Yes. See, I'm big on work smarter, not harder. See, you find somebody to do the hard work. You ain't gotta do it.
How have you been?
I've been great. I've been
Good.
great. Getting things ready for the launch next month, and
Okay.
out making connections, meeting people, marching, and all that good stuff.
Okay. Now, tell us about this event next month that you have going on.
Oh man, the launch.
Okay.
So, a new beginning mental health and wellness will be launching next month, November 11th, it will be our official launch date. Even though we've actually been in business since 2022, most
Mm-hmm.
people don't know that.
Uh-huh.
We've been a functional 5013C since 2022, just doing stuff on a small scale based on my income. So now we're
Right.
really just trying to reach out to the community, get supporters, sponsors, donors to just help us expand so that we can be a pillar in our community, especially surrounding mental health. Because we do know that our community, but especially Black and Brown community, we don't receive the same services. We don't have the same services in our communities that's accessible or free.
Mm.
So we want to let the community know that we're here, we're
Mm-hmm.
there,
Right.
and we're ready to hit the ground running. So
Right.
that's what we
Awesome.
do.
Awesome. And what's the date? You got to give up. You have to give the people the details.
It's it November 11th. It's Veterans Day. It's Tuesday, right? And so I did Tuesday because I like tacos, and so we're gonna do we're gonna do a Taco Tuesday theme. And what better way to honor those that really need to support our veterans, right? It is Veterans
Right.
Day, and we hear a lot. Veterans deal with a lot of mental health issues, and although they have VA services, we know that those services aren't always accessible when needed. And so, why
Mm.
not have it on a good day? People will be off, everything's closed. Come enjoy some tacos, margaritas. 11/11. So come out.
Hey, there you go. Tacos and margaritas. That'll get anybody there. Like.
Right. But what's also good is the sponsorship. So like we're
Mm-hmm.
allowing people to support that don't even attend. And everyone that donates $200 or more will get a voucher for a trip for two to Las Vegas. So we're out promoting that. We'll have a raffle as
Okay.
well for those that attend. So we're really pushing to get these vouchers out because I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
keep them. So
Right. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. We'll double back before the end the night and uh push that information back out again because I think it's really vital. Uh, the service that you're providing, there's so many that need it in that area and other areas, and
mhm,
people are looking for information. They just don't know where to get it. So
that part. Yep.
it's really vital that we continually push it out. So maybe the person that's hearing it right then, they may not need it, but they hear it and they come across somebody that does.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes. Mm.
all right. So
So,
let's
so wait,
let's
I
peel.
got. I need to
Yeah.
ask you.
Okay.
My question to you is, how have you been?
How I been? You want me to lie to you? Tell you the truth.
What do you mean? See, and that's why this topic is important because
Right.
why not tell me the truth?
I. That's why I asked you both. Um, I'm actually a lot better. My dad was sick, which was the reason for the hiatus from the show for a while because it was really, really strenuous time, and just really weren't sure exactly how it was going to play out because it was just that type of environment. But he's better, so because he's better, I'm better, and
Mhm,
it's one of those things to where you. Hmm, you truly have to take it day by day.
mhm.
So that's your question. I've seen worse days, but I'm good today.
Good, good, good. I'm not gonna start therapizing you. I'll
No, no,
I'll
no,
wait till
no,
we get.
no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I will snatch the cord out this thing tonight. This part is over. Try again. We'll try again next month. No, ma'am.
Listen, and see, listen. This goes with our topic.
Uh huh.
Why silence yourself?
Well, I'm not silencing myself. I just don't want to have a therapy session for the world to see.
Why not?
Why not? That is
Mhm.
one of the things in the transparency realm that I'm still working on. I can
Okay.
acknowledge that. I have a level of transparency, but there's still levels that I'm still working
Okay.
on. I, you know, but I can tell people that I I don't just get on here and talk about mental health. I have my own struggles, and
Mm-hmm.
but I also, because I know I have my own struggles, I seek out the assistance that I need to for those struggles. I don't, as opposed to just suffering in silence, like, man, going through it and, finding vices instead of finding tools.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but and to that point, let's talk about we're gonna call it the man box and the cultural norms of why men do what we do.
Mm,
And a lot on how society has portrayed us, how society has kind of painted us into this box of men are supposed to be this. And if you're not this, you're not a man.
mm-hmm.
You know, I can't, if I express emotion, I'm weak. And me personally, I feel like that is what causes so many men to kind of retreat to a shell, and they feel like they have to present this rough exterior and
Mm-hmm.
suffer in silence.
Yeah. Yeah. Where did you learn that?
To best my recollection, that's just how I grew up. That's what I've always seen and known.
But from who?
Uh, you know, I guess parents, aunts, uncles, just how that family structure. That's just what I recall seeing. No one
Okay.
just openly saying, "Hey, come talk to me about your problems." You know, this is how we deal with this. It's
Right.
just, you know, kind of brushing off to the side.
Right.
Hmm.
The reason why I asked you that, I wasn't therapizing you. I wasn't
Hmm.
therapizing you, but I wanted to see your root of it
Hmm.
because your root of it is usually our root of it,
Hmm.
right? And
Right.
so, being whether you're a single mother or you have a partner, you
Hmm.
teach your son, man up, put your,
Hmm.
get stuff done and do that and do this. But
Hmm.
where did we get it from?
Hmm.
We got it from either observing men or growing up around men who
Hmm.
told the men in our lives, this is
Hmm.
how you're supposed to be a man. Like,
Right.
this is what identifies as a man. And so when you dealing with men and women are pushing this, oh, a man should operate like this. And the favorite word that I truly hate, sassy, this is
Mm.
sassy and this is sassy, um, stem from a generation of men telling men and also women hearing it, right?
Hmm.
And so we may have not the men may not have told us men should be this way, but whether we had brothers, we
Hmm.
heard, we
Right.
watched, right? But also some of us are told.
Right.
Some women are told men should be a certain way
Right.
by men, our
Right.
fathers, grandfathers. And so that still comes from that
Mhm.
generational slavery. Right? No matter how hard how hard things are, slaves work. Don't complain, just
Mhm.
work. And so it sounds like it's just a generational curse that was bred down from the idea of you're slaves, you don't complain, you just work, put your head down, and you just take
Mhm.
care of what you need to take care of.
Right. And and it's when you put it in. I'm sure anybody that you try to present it to in that manner, They would be like, no, that's not what that means. But in actuality, that's what it feels like. Um,
Mm,
because until I, kind of learned a lot more, I felt like my job was just to simply show up, produce, and provide. What I what I didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I know now differently, but that is how I felt. My job was to provide, protect. You know
Yeah.
what my emotional status was or any of that. That didn't matter, and that is that's a lie because we're all human, and how we feel about things matters.
Mm-hmm.
And it has nothing to do with being overly emotional. I don't know what's going on with my internet connection tonight, but it has nothing to do with being overly emotional. But if I'm if someone's close to me, um, and they did something that affects me, I need to be able to have emotional intelligence enough to address whatever that is, and
Mm-hmm.
and not I'm angry, pissed off. It's, hey, this happened. This is how it affected me.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to know that. I'm not expecting you to fall down and cry and beg for my forgiveness. But what I am expecting you is for you to hear me, no more, no less, and go from there.
Yeah. But let's be honest, because we hear this a
Hmm.
lot with women, having that safe space to be able to express that, and men need that as well, right? If
Hmm.
you don't feel like what you're saying is going to be heard, if you feel like
Hmm.
it's going to cause an argument, and if you feel like
Hmm.
what you're saying doesn't matter, you're not
Hmm.
going to be so open to say it.
Very true, and
Right?
that is that is a very true statement. I live that,
Yeah.
and not to throw stones or whatever, because that's not what this is about. But whenever you, especially in relationships, men as well as women need that safe space that to address whatever issue is without being judged for it. You know,
Yes.
it
Yeah.
if I tell you that this bothered me, I don't need to, once we quote unquote work through that, I don't need you to bring that back up and use it as ammunition later.
Yeah. And so that
Because
on
that
both
that will
ends,
set
that's a
up.
childhood thing. On both ends, that's a childhood thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're
Mm-hmm.
raised as a young man, if you're raised that your opinion matters, your voice matters, then you're not going to stand for anybody that doesn't respect such. Right. And so whether
Right.
that person listens or whether they want to come, you're not going to stand for that. And so you're not going to place yourself in too many environments where people aren't, where you feel like you're not being heard. When
Right.
you grow up used to not being heard, you will subject
Mm-hmm.
yourself to women that don't really hear you from deep in their soul.
Mm-hmm.
They just hear the surface level of you. And you will be okay
Mm-hmm.
with that because that's all you're used to all of your life, but it will still eat you up because you will never feel heard.
Mm. Very, very, very true. That's true. And while you were saying that, I was sitting there thinking about, the term boundaries is thrown around a lot. And we use that as a catch-all for a lot of things. But I think, just in general terms, men aren't expected to have boundaries.
Mhm. Yeah.
We're just expected, hey, show up, protect and provide.
Everybody.
You know, and because of that, when you start to say, "Hey, I need," that's awfully sassy. You like, because I need something outside of whatever physical attention that I normally require. Now I'm sassy. Now I'm sensitive. But
You got a point there.
that.
I'm not gonna call you sassy. I'm not. You do have a point. When you said it, I had to like go back into my memory brain because you do have a point there. And I'm not gonna say you're sassy, but there is something with a guy flirting with begging that bothers me. It does bother me. It does
Mhm.
bother me. Or
Now,
even though it's trying to
listen.
be like,
Now,
oh, can I go with you? Like, are you? Oh, can you buy me this? Like, why you want to? It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to buy it for me, but come at another angle, right?
Well, well, well,
And maybe it's
now,
society. Maybe it's society that's put it on our
well,
head that, people should be this way or men should be that way. But yeah, that's something I gotta work on. Work on.
now that to me that's completely different context. That right there, I feel like there are certain times where you need to be a little bit more vulnerable. Like, hey, can you do this for me? But if I'm out and about and I don't know you like that, hey, can I go? You don't, no, 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 sir,
All
no.
right.
Right, I need you to. That ain't what we talking about. I'm talking about if in relationships of intimate nature or family dynamics, um,
Mm-hmm.
or just close friends, where it's deeper than just that surface level stuff. Because if, like, I have female best friends, and I can talk to them and I can express how I feel without that judgment of, hey, bro, you, you, you need to tighten up. They understand that I'm capable of being both. I can still be a man's man, but I'm secure enough in my manhood to express my hurt, disappointment, anger, frustration, whatever the adjective it is you choose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one thing I want to encourage people to understand, that you can still be a man's man and
Mm-hmm.
address whatever that emotion is. And
Yeah.
I used to always say, growing up, that there were only really two acceptable forms of emotion that men could express, and that be lust and anger.
Anger. Yeah.
It was cool for you to be a horn dog and try to hump every female you saw. That's just men, just being men, or being
Mm-hmm.
mad. Oh, boys, that's okay. But let me come to you and say, hey, I have this issue about how or what you said or what you did. What's wrong with you? You sensitive? You soft? No, that's called emotional intelligence.
But what you're also talking about is gaslighting.
Mm-hmm.
That's very much so gaslighting. Instead of addressing what you did that made me feel this way, you want to insult me for feeling this way.
Mm-hmm.
And those are people that don't want to be held accountable for their actions.
Right.
That's not a me problem right there.
Mm. Well, and I think, but where you run into a lot of that issue is for men that may not be really secure in expressing themselves, and that gaslighting comes, that's going to push them back. They're going to be like, well, you know, until they are strong enough emotionally to understand that, regardless of whether you are willing to hear what it is that I'm standing on this business or not, I'm going to continue to stand on it. Those that
Mhm.
feel insecure about expressing that because they don't want to be judged as soft or sassy or sensitive or whatever. Because some men
Mhm.
will, they worry about that. They
Yeah.
are worried about how society perceives them.
Hmm. And I'm not. That's everybody,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's everybody. Even the people that say I don't care what people think about me, they're still to a certain extent because how
Mm-hmm.
people perceive you is conducive to your purpose.
Mm. Okay. Come on with it. Come on with it.
If, if okay, just using me as a therapist, right?
Right.
Doing workshops, mental health workshops, and um, even having a book on having a healthy relationship with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, if I was out here doing the contrary of everything that I preach,
Mm-hmm. Right.
is that conducive to what I'm trying to do in my life? Right. See,
Right.
I already have a hard time getting a lot of supporters
Mm-hmm.
because I own a mobile bartender business, right? And so a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people know me for that and they support me for that. Separating the two and getting them over here has been like
Mm-hmm.
pulling teeth and nails,
Mm. Right. Because
right?
people struggle to say, well, that's what they attach this one thing to that person. It's like that's who they are. Okay. I'm I, I'm digging. I'm digging. What what does that look for?
I hear drama outside. It ain't never no drama outside of my house.
I could you had that.
I
I'm like,
don't
wait a
know.
minute. I'm like now,
I'm like, your viewers about to get the tea. Like your viewers about to get the
okay, come
tea.
on
Cause
with
I'm
it.
like, ooh.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Let's refocus. All right, let's
See,
refocus.
these are
All
people
right,
down there that need my services.
they do not right now because they ain't ready, but they do.
They
They
need,
definitely.
but look, that's talking about emotional regulation.
Mm-hmm.
Emotional. So whatever them two have going on it's not going to get handled right now because all this, no one is really listening.
Right. It's I'm yelling at you, you yelling at me, and I'm getting more upset because you're not hearing me, and you're getting more upset because I'm not hearing you. And which brings me to my next point. Language barriers. When it comes to men understanding how to communicate what's going on with them.
Hmm.
Um, you know, Men as a whole, we struggle uh, articulating, finding the words to say, either A, I care, or A, I'm just in a bad space, I'm hurting, or whatever the case may be. We struggle with that because we've never been taught how to communicate that. I posted a clip the other day. I saw it was a dad and his son. They were sitting in this little round table, and
Hmm.
his son was probably about 10, 12. And the dad sat across from him, and the dad says, "Hey, you got something you want to say to me?" And the kid's kind of slumped down in the chair, and he's talking to him. He's like, "Yeah, you don't talk to me." And the dad's like, "Hey," he's like, "I provide for you, and I do this and that." He was like, "I work. I don't have time to talk." So forth, so on. And the kid's like, "I'm talking to you about certain things," and pretty much the dad's being very dismissive of whatever he's got going on in life. And from the kid's standpoint, it's the kid's cry for help. And the dad's standpoint is like he eventually gets to the point where he's telling them like, "Hey, I grew up this way. I don't, I'm not equipped with those tools." But it all culminated with the dad saying, "Hey, just be patient with me." And what I took from that conversation is just because of how we were raised, that doesn't mean that's how we have to continually be. But we have to be willing to do the work.
Right.
We have to be willing to hear that person that's telling us, "Hey, I need a little bit more from you. I know you don't have that tool in your toolbox right now, but I need you to try." And I was having a conversation before my show started, and sometimes, especially us as men, I think we need to kind of take a moment and show up in that manner that we wish somebody would have shown up for us. Because all of us as
Hmm.
boys, we wish that we had that. but when we get to a certain point, we want to act like we forget it. Hold on, I got a couple of
Yeah.
comments here. Robin, Robin says somebody being vulnerable. Don't Robin, don't start. Selena says people have a problem seeing us as multifaceted human beings. We're not linear. Unfortunately, men are not allowed to be multifaceted and vulnerable. Yes, yes, and yes.
Mhm.
Thank y'all for both of those comments. And
What I want to ask is,
come on.
because a lot of how women view men should be is what
Mm-hmm.
was taught from men.
Mm-hmm.
And we understand that it was taught from a place of trauma, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a place of trying to protect men. And so since that we're not, I won't say 100% because we still got a lot of work to do. What could women do to create the safe space so that you feel that you're able to really discuss these things, to feel open to say, hey, I'm feeling sad, or hey, I'm feeling this, or hey, I'm feeling that, without feeling overly judged, without feeling like he's still not the man, he's not the provider, he's still not this. Because you could be sad, you can cry, you can feel all of the feelings that are effective and still be a leader, still be a man. So, what could women do in order to create these safe spaces where men feel that their voices are important and are heard?
Whew. That's a tough question. But I would, if I had to guess, I would say I use the analogy of just kind of set the table. And what I mean by that is, you know, if when you're around a particular person enough, you kind of see how they move, and
Mhm.
you you start to create that environment. And like when they tell you just this trivial this minor issue is bothering them. Oh, okay. And you hear that, and you don't just say, well, you don't just let them vent. You say, well, start by, okay, I'm sorry that's transpired. How can I best show up for you? And that question alone, he's gonna be like, I don't know, because 98% of us never had a person tell us how can I best show up for you.
Mhm.
And from there, now he's gonna feel a little bit more comfortable with trying to communicate what he's got going on, because now you want to be there for you. You're asking me how you can show up for me, to support me. That means I don't have to carry all this weight by myself. You want to show up and support me in some shape, form, or fashion.
Mhm.
And so it begins with creating
Mhm.
that quote unquote safe space.
Did his internet go out? Oh, we'll sit here until B-Man come back. But creating a safe space, ladies, um, and understanding that being vulnerable for a man isn't weak. It takes strength for a man to be vulnerable to a woman that he wants to provide for, um, that he wants to take care of. And so I think that's what we really need as women, is to identify that safe space. Where you at? I'm gonna play on his platform. But having that safe space is important for both men and women. And so I think if we get to a point where we realize that both of our feelings matter, both of us, our feelings are important, none is over the other, that when it comes to our feelings, it should be equal. When it comes to our needs and our wants, Although our needs and wants may not be equal, it still should be just as important. And so it is highly important. And so having this topic, you back. I'm over here running your show.
Listen, I don't know what just happened. But I
That was my
appreciate you.
time to shine. That's what that was. That was
Listen,
my time to shine.
I appreciate you for running the show for me. Uh, that was, I don't know what kind of technical glitch that was, but thank you.
That was no problem. I was a man of it.
Look,
Just and it's an opportunity for me to actually speak for the women part. Like we do need to create safe spaces on both ends because although it should be equal with being able to voice and be able to communicate
mm-hmm,
how we feel, our needs and wants. Although our needs and wants may not be the same, right?
right,
Even well, women may be more needy than men. Let's be honest, women may
right,
be more needy than men. Doesn't mean that what
mhm,
men needs is less important.
right. And I agree. I think we have to um, understand that it's okay for a man to have some emotional needs. Now, I will say he doesn't need to. Doesn't need to be at the same point of a woman
Yeah.
because our genetic makeup is different. But it's okay for a
Mhm.
man to have emotional needs. Hold on, Robin said I was outside with them folks in your neighborhood, the ones that was arguing. That's what Robin just said.
Uh, that
Uh,
and that was from my Ring camera. That was
oh
from
my
my. I
goodness.
just happened to put the audio because I can hear it. I'm like, I know if I can hear, my Ring can hear it. I I don't listen. I don't do with dramas, and I was like, I never heard that was as much action as I've had in the last 2 years here. So,
Well, hopefully that'll be resolved. And then Robin, she had another comment. She says we have to understand that men do have feelings and are important, and we should be allowed to say share them safely. And I think just from the standpoint of from a man's standpoint, we have to understand who we can communicate those feelings to, share emotions with, because a lot of times we share them with the wrong people, and then when it's thrown back in your face, now that says you retreat back into your shell like a turtle, and you're like, yeah, I ain't doing that no more.
yeah. Well, you usually share stuff with people who got issues.
Hmm.
When have you last time you shared when you're going through with somebody who you seem to not have like seeing that their life is good, they don't have any issues, right? Because we
Hmm.
know like hurt people, right? People that are happy with their
Hmm.
lives, they're not going to give you any bad advice. They're not going to shun you. Then they're usually happy, right? Oh, come on,
Hmm.
welcome, welcome. But those
Hmm.
not the people you want to tell your embarrassing parts to, right? Those not the people that
Right.
you really want to expose yourself to, because those are the people that's really going to be like, "Don't worry about it. Do this X and Y Z." They're going to uplift you. Why? Because they're up in an uplifted part of their life, right?
Right.
We want to talk to people that can understand our hurt because they're
Right.
hurt.
Because they're hurting too. You're right. Uh, let's see. Selena says we have to allow space to hear each other, and that that means bringing in a third party, listen to learn and not to respond. And that right there is the word for the day. Um,
Mm, mm,
listen to learn and not just, okay, you said your part, now let me tell you mine. No, because if I'm
mhm.
telling you something that's going on with me, okay, now you're learning. This is something that I'm dealing with, I'm struggling with. Okay, how can I better? I may not be able to physically do anything for you, but create a space for you to understand that, okay, I'm here to be a sounding board, to let you
Yeah.
get all that out, because carrying that type of stress internally will eventually affect your health.
Mhm. Yeah. But also being accountable for your feelings and your feelings only,
Mm-hmm.
and allowing people to feel how they feel and respecting how they feel without demeaning them, or not, or without feeling like you have to make them feel better or change their mind,
Mm.
instead of
Mm.
respecting differences, right? So if you feel a certain type of way about something that I'm doing to benefit me or better my life, me being okay with you feeling like that, because your feelings belong to you. and and
Right.
and I can't tell you how you should feel about a certain thing, even if I don't agree with it. I don't need to bash you for it. I can allow you to sit in what's yours. Your
Right.
feelings are yours.
Exactly. Just don't you don't have to validate or invalidate them. But hey, okay, that's how you feel, and I understand that and I respect it. Um, Selena says, but that's why I'm single. She says I'm trying to heal. Her mother's death took a major toll on her. She said I can't be in a relationship with this pain. She said I need to focus on me, and that's okay. And
Yeah.
Robin said that
But
is a great point. And
and
go ahead.
my question to her is, what is she doing to heal? Because I hear a
Mm,
lot of people, especially with my clients dealing with relationships,
mm-hmm,
they change, or they've healed. And my question is, well, what did they do to heal, right? Because even with you talk about scars and scratches, well, they say leave them alone, it'll heal. It may not heal properly if you leave it alone. It's still some things you
mm-hmm,
want to do. You want to put some ointment to make sure it don't get infected. You want to do some things to make sure that it heals properly. And so I'm always asking, what are you doing tangible? Because there is, and I keep doing my research, and I keep thinking, nothing that I can think of changes without nothing happening.
mm,
Something has to take place in order for change or healing to happen. So if we just we think we're gonna isolate, sit in the house, like
right.
I'm working on my healing, and you're not doing nothing tangible to make healing change, then you'll end up like this I have on my finger, where I actually sliced my finger and never
Mm-hmm,
went and got it taken care of, and just put it over, so it didn't heal properly, and there's still a knot under
mm-hmm,
there. Right? And so it gives me
mm,
problems. And so
mm,
if you don't do anything tangible, and I'm not saying everybody needs to go to therapy, but what are you doing to promote wellness in your life? Tangible, not just
mm.
sitting
Right.
waiting for the feeling to come.
Go. Right. And I think that's an excellent question. And I don't it's when it comes to, because people will like to say I'm healing in general. I know Selena personally, so I know the things that she's working on. So she's actively working on it. But people like to use throughout the phrase healing, or I'm healing. Okay, but just sitting, just in recluse or what have you, that's not healing. If
No.
you're not if you're not actively participating in your rescue by, whether it's therapy or, meditation or classes or different things to kind of help you have a better introspective of yourself so you can kind of grow. And
Hmm.
a lot of those things that are quote unquote triggers, because they'll still be there. So if you're not willing to go into those spaces and to address those things and those triggers are, as my therapist says, those are nothing more than hurts that were never addressed.
Hmm.
And that ain't no fun, but that's a whole nother story. But Selena says therapy every other Monday, journaling every week, meditating, sermon, praise and worship daily, exercise, volunteer work, enrolled in leadership mobile.
She
Like I
doing
said,
it. That's what
she
I'm
is putting
saying. Work. She
she
putting
is putting
in
in
the
work.
work. I'm a tell Selena, look, have Selena send you her information. I'm gonna send her a workbook. I'm gonna send her a grief support workbook on the
Gotcha.
house free. There you go.
Got you.
That's what I call putting in work. She's not just sitting on waiting for the feeling to go
Mhm.
away, right? She's
Right.
learning how to live her life outside of the grief. Because one thing people tend to think is, even with like depression, right?
Mhm.
You realize like, oh, I'm depressed, and so I'm gonna lay here until depression goes away. I'm just gonna lay here, and when I'm not depressed anymore,
Mhm.
then I'll be good. And that's not how depression works. Like, depression is like a toxic boyfriend. He ain't going
Mhm.
nowhere. As long as you giving him a place to lay, a place to eat, a place to sleep, he ain't going nowhere. You gotta let depression go. And so it's being active, it's getting up, doing things, accomplishing goals, seeing yourself further. And sometimes people get stuck in that grief, get stuck
Mhm.
in that moment of loss, and can't see themselves outside of that. And so if
Mm.
you're not doing anything tangible for any change, even with men, if you're not changing your environment, if you're around a lot of people that don't make you feel safe and
Mhm.
expressing your needs and wants, change your environments. Your voice matter, your needs and wants are just as important as the people around you. So the people around you, don't make them feel like they're important. Change the people around you.
Mm. Whew. That's real.
Right.
We
It's
have
too
to go
many
where
people in this world to feel like we stuck with people that bring us down.
mm, this is true. This is true. Um, and so, to that point, we're loyal to people that aren't loyal to us.
Mm,
And and what I mean
well,
by that, huh?
I'm saying, well, we want to find people that's not loyal to the hurt side of us.
Right. Well, and what I meant by that is, they we're loyal to people that we care about, but they're not loyal to us because they're not in the sense of when I'm in need, and not a actual physical need, but emotional need. You have zero to give. Your bank is empty, or
Mm,
you just refuse.
but they might not even have the capacity. They
And that is the drawback to it. And understanding there's some people in your life that just don't have that emotional capacity.
Mhm. That's a us problem, not a them
That's
problem.
that exactly, and that's a difficult thing to kind of navigate in itself, because you'll find yourselves getting upset with them, not realizing they just don't have the capacity to be what it is that you need,
Yeah.
even though you showed up and showed out for them on a gazillion occasions.
Hmm. Yeah. You got to learn to operate in the capacity of your reality and not
Mm,
your fantasy.
that's tough.
I know. That's
By the
why
way, Selena
I was
says
never
thank you,
able to
beautiful.
be a runway model. Listen, for years I wanted to do runway modeling, right? That was my fantasy. I want
Hmm.
to stroll the runway, fashion week. That was my fantasy.
Right.
Reality is I don't meet the height requirements.
Right. Just is what it is.
And so if I stick to that, that's my goal. And then I'm mad when that goal is never accomplished. I set myself up for that failure because I never had the capacity to do it in the first place.
Right. Yeah. And taking away just some various things from this. Um, there is, for one, we've got to understand our capacity for things, and we got to understand the capacity of others around us. Because sometimes we're expecting certain things from them that they just can't give.
Hmm.
And so we need to seek out other methods, whether it be, you know, therapy, um, uh, spiritual counseling, other methods that where people can meet us where we need to be, that have the capacity to help us work through these things. Um,
Yes.
because your family's not bad just be or those some of those people close to you aren't bad because they can't. You know, you're just further along in that emotional journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I've had talks with different people, and they were like, um, "You are, I guess, from an emotional standpoint and mental health standpoint, I'm more expressive than most guys," and I'm like, "Yeah," and part of it is because how I just for me, I feel like it's how I chose to respond to things that I've been through,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's you know we go through things in life, and we choose how we respond to it because things happen in life, but either we can allow those things to kind of push us this way or we push us that way,
Yeah.
and we have to make that decision of I can either let this make me bitter or I make me better.
I think a lot of people don't realize that they have that choice.
Mm,
If all you've been around is anger and aggression, you think that's the only options that you have.
mm, true.
When did you when did you learn that you had that choice?
Whew. I don't. That's a good question because I don't really know. I was definitely much older.
Right.
Definitely.
So that wasn't something that you it was always been there. You have
No.
already made so many mistakes, right?
Mm,
But you were able to grow and look at those mistakes and build off of them,
correct.
right? Not everybody reached that level of capacity at the same time.
True. Very
Yeah.
true. And
Environment plays a key role. What was your environment like? What resources were around you?
mm,
That's why having adequate resources, culturally engaged resources, are important because
mm,
we're looking for people to operate in capacities they don't even know that they can meet because they've never been exposed to it. That's
and
why
you're right. You're absolutely right.
we tell parents, expose your children to different things, different cultures, different environments, so that they can think outside of the box. They can be a little bit more diverse and be open to others' opinions, other ideas, and not be so shut off.
Right.
But if you've never had an other option other than anger and aggression, because I grew up with anger and aggression, like that's all I ever knew, anger and aggression. Like, oh, I was a fighter back in my day, and I used to break stuff and tear shit up, like. And it wasn't until I
Mm,
got older and having to go into AutoZone because I needed another rear view mirror because I got mad and socked that one and it came off, or having to go get
mm,
my watch fixed because I got mad and threw my watch, and now I'm at the Michael Kors store like, oh, I need my watch fixed. Right. So it's having that
mm,
awareness, right? Having that awareness, tearing your shit up.
mm.
Either you're gonna blame other people, well, other people made me mad, that's why I did it, or you're gonna realize that you're allowing other people to have control over your life, and it's costing you money.
Right.
Every time I have to get something repaired because somebody made me mad and I broke something of mine.
Right. It costs you one way or the other. But and
Yeah,
I will say, and to your point, this is why spaces like this are so important. I feel like and of course I'm biased because it's my podcast, but creating these spaces to where you're hearing us talk about these different issues that you may very well be experiencing, and to understand that you're not alone, and your feelings are valid. But
yeah,
just because your feelings are valid doesn't mean that the work stops there. That's where the work begins.
yeah. Hmm.
You know, we're here to encourage each other and to help each other point. Hey, if I ain't got the tool, I'm gonna point you in the direction of where you can go get it.
Yeah. And we don't have to keep this man versus women. Like we're on the same team fighting together.
Right.
I,
Exactly.
See, that's
I
why I love getting
appreciate
on
the question.
podcasts with men because if you
Uh-huh.
notice that any podcast that I get on, I'm never bashing men. I'm
Mm-hmm.
never going against what is being said because I want men
Right.
to see that there is a group of us. 'Cause we hear
Mm-hmm.
like the bad women that are out there overshadow the women that say we care about your feelings and you are heard and we want to be there for you. You know what I'm saying? Because we're there, we have that big old gap that what's in your pocket, what's in your pocket, what's in your pants.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so men don't
Right.
feel that, oh well, I can't really open up because this is what women care about. And so the women that care about other stuff
Right.
becomes very small. Right. And so being able to find that, listen, you didn't hurt me and I didn't hurt you, but I'm here to help you heal. You here to help me heal. And I'm not saying that you got to do X, Y, and Z, but all you have to do is continue to be yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And continue to work on yourself as a person as I work on me and not turn your nose up when I don't seem perfect. And be
Right.
okay with neither one of us being perfect.
Right. Because we aren't. Not neither one of us is ever going to be perfect, and you know, it's this. It should never be a point to where it's an adversarial type of situation.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We need each other for healing.
exactly. And you know, we process information differently, and that's fine. But that just means we have to be more intentional about hearing, listening to learn and understand, and
Yeah.
not just, well, you said it this way, and
Right.
create a defensive posture.
But acknowledging that we process things different, but expecting that. Like you're a man. I'm a
Hmm.
woman. I, we will never process things the same. Right? You should manage your emotions a certain way that's different from women. That makes us different. And so we will never, we should never be on the same level because we could never be on the same level. And that is okay. That's where support, that's how we support each other. I'm supporting you because you're on a
Hmm.
higher level than me, and you're supporting me because I'm not. When we talk about strength and
Indeed.
masculinity and support and being able to stand tall and provide, men will always stand on top of that. Because why?
Hmm.
They are the protectors. We can
Hmm.
provide, we can do that, but when it comes to protecting all of that, somebody got to be at the front
Hmm.
gate. And so if
Right.
we still look at, we'll never be an equal basis. And to be honest, I don't fucking want to. I don't. I'm not trying to listen. I don't
Listen.
mind taking care of the kids and cleaning the house while the man put on the armor and go fight battle. I'm not fit for battle. And that's what women gotta realize. We're not fit for a battle. We are fit to nurture.
Mm,
And both are as equally as important.
mm.
But neither requires the same. Don't put me on the battlefield. Y'all can have that. I've been fighting my whole life, all my life. I had to fight.
Oh boy.
I'm just,
Well,
I'm just
we have
saying.
come we have come to the end. I, I and I appreciate that, that transparent more. I really do. Because these are the type dialogues that we need to have. Um, so everybody, people understand that. Salita said, "Soft like me, please. I'm dainty, damn it."
Right. And listen, I've learned you don't need a man for soft life, but a man make it softer. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, I don't want to pick up nothing
Oh my
heavy.
goodness.
I don't want to take out the trash. I don't want to listen. Whatever it makes my man's life easier, I'm gonna do that because I want you to do whatever makes my life easier.
Right.
That
Well,
that's how we gonna do whatever makes your life easier because I'm tired.
um, I'm gonna tell you, just that whole the topic that where you just talking about men and protectors. That's a whole nother discussion because
They, they scary now.
no. What I mean by that, no. Like as men as protectors, it not only for physically. Look, Robert said, "Soft girl era always." Look what you done got started. Everybody hollering about soft girl era. They waving the flag, soft girl. But
Right, there we go. Wave your flag, soft girl era, because
but
we don't need all of that. Go
but
ahead.
no,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
no. What all I was gonna say is, when we talk about men and protection, it's not just protecting physically, but protecting them emotionally as well. That see, but that's a
That's
whole
a
nother. That's a whole
whole
nother.
another
That's
hour.
exactly.
Boy.
So I had to put that out there because we gonna circle back to that.
We
Um,
got two new topics: soft girl era. We gonna throw that in there. We gonna throw that in
look,
there because we're
look,
gonna have to teach.
look, y'all waiting on.
We're gonna teach men and women how to create a soft girl era because you technically don't need a man to create a soft life. They add to it, they may make it a little fluffier. I don't mind a more fluffier soft life. Go ahead. Fluff for me, baby. Look, he over here. Oh my shenanigans.
I'm like, not, look, I'm sitting there. I'm like, how I pull this show off? Look, Robert was girl, you got your wine.
Girl, look, I keep it. I keep it. Make sure you your friend because I can't see comments. So they can
You
inbox
can't see the
me.
comments.
Yeah, so they can inbox me because I promised somebody a book. So inbox me. I am Jamie Kirk on Instagram. I'll connect with you, get your address, and I'll send you a copy of the book. That's what the girl who's already doing the grief. She's doing group and
Selena,
all of that. Yeah. And also I do we have a monthly grief support group. Will be tomorrow actually at depends on what coast you're. I'm on East Coast time, so 7 p.m. And so it's based off the workbook. And so tomorrow's topic we'll be talking about denial, the denial
mm,
part of grief. So um Instagram, I am Jamie Kirk. Inbox me. I'll send you to the link where you can register for the support group. Yeah. As a matter of fact, you said that you were
oh yeah,
gifting two books.
I am gifting 2 books. Yes.
Okay, well there go one of
Okay.
your gifters. So
Okay. Well, I got you. When we get off, um, we'll square that up, and I get the books. I'm glad you reminded. What Robert
mhm.
said. Yes. Soft life, honey. We enjoyed you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, but yeah, Selena, I'll text you later and get the information for you, and then when I get the book from uh Miss Kirk here, I will get it to you.
We, I got a question because you know what? We always talk about soft life for women. Is there a soft life for men?
I don't think that's acceptable.
No, it should be. That's talk that, but that's talk about self care. If whether you go get a massage or you do something for you. Men should have a soft life. Don't look at the title of it. It's what you
Mm.
do to create that life. So we need to throw that in there. Do men have a
Uh,
soft life?
uh,
I
I
think
don't know.
so.
Maybe I need to
That
do a poll.
that. I believe so. My grandfather had a soft life. My grandmother cooked, cleaned, ironed his clothes, washed his clothes. All he had to do was leave the house and do whatever he did out there. And then when she left, when she went out of town, I washed all his clothes, had to iron his work clothes, church clothes, cook. Like, men do have
I
soft lives.
well, I get, I guess my question, my next thing was gonna be, I guess it depends on how do you define a soft life for a man.
Mm-mm. So
You know,
that's a good
I
topic.
think
Because
that's
what is a soft life for men? Because I think it's
right.
created. My grandma sure the hell did create one. Now I don't think about. We both did. It wasn't my grandma. It was us. It was us thing.
So I let's see, my KP said no. KP, you said men don't need a soft life, or no, we don't have one.
Yes, I see. Oh, now I see. Yes, men need soft life too. Yeah, come. See, that could be a topic. Come on, ladies. How can we create soft life for men? But men, what do you need for a soft life? And we're not
Right,
talking about a sassy, whatever y'all talk about, a
right,
sass.
right, yeah.
Talking about where you don't have that added stress, because that's what a soft life is for women.
Mm,
Someone that's there, or we don't have the added stress to our life. Right,
right.
we just take care of the needs. So how could we create a soft life for men? Let's go ahead and push this soft life for men era 2025.
I think from a man standpoint, look, KP said just what I was saying. I think change the wording, because for men,
See, why does it
men,
have to see? See, no. Let's look at the definition. We didn't say like punk or any other of those names that.
but it's
And
you and I.
I'm sorry. Oh,
We
we
all
are
can say
live, so they don't cancel me. I don't mean like that
no, no,
kind
no,
of,
no, no, no,
you
no,
know
no,
what I
no.
mean?
But perception is the key, and it's kind of like I'll take it to the simplest form. Like if I tell a man to be vulnerable, he gonna look at me like I'm crazy. But if I ask him to be transparent,
We discussed that. Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
So when you say being men perceive soft with being weak, how can women create a more comfortable life for men?
And you know the crazy thing, because like just because you soft don't mean you weak. Like one of the softest things that I know is one of the strongest things.
Mm-hmm.
Cotton.
Huh?
Cotton.
Cotton. True.
Can you break cotton? You pull cotton apart.
So see the stigma. Look, and but and but here's the thing: we're talking about years and years of a stigma. Men
Yeah.
are supposed to be perceived a certain way, and
Strong.
so
So
when you're being indoctrinated, and I don't think that this is one of those things you can't just break. You have to kind of peel away. So
mm-hmm.
so while I agree, you know, you 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 can possibly be able to use that term. I think that you're not going to get the reception that you would like to, or
The
the
response,
buy-in.
yeah. So
So
what
therefore,
name?
exactly. Well, we got to work on that part. We got to definitely work on that part.
Right.
Because
Okay. We have to get some namings.
right, look, Robin
Mhm.
says, um, lots of examples of soft life can look like, and she says, yes, natural fabric is strong, and indeed,
Mhm.
but I definitely think that that's a topic that we really need to kind of push forward on. You know, what would be the equivalent of a soft life for a man, and but it definitely we're gonna have to change that soft wording. I'm gonna have to find another adjective, because that is going to automatically look. That's gonna turn, like, any man that thinks he's a man's man. That's gonna turn him completely
Completely are. Yeah.
off, and he's not gonna want to engage in a dialogue. And
Yeah.
that is that is not what we want. We want them to be a willing participant so we can actually get buy-in,
Okay.
because
So
So,
So we need to create a name for y'all then.
uh, Robin said that starts when young boys are told don't cry and and don't share. And I agree. And that's why I said this is years and years of in the making
Mm-hmm.
of why men perceive it the way they do. So we have to be very strategic in how we peel back the layers of this.
Mm-hmm.
We can't just be like, oh man, you can have a soft life air and just argue till you blue in the face. No, okay, we it's gonna be the same thing, but it's gonna be worded different.
Okay. So we gotta work on a name
Word,
and
right.
identify it because we want to start pushing this. Maybe that's
Mm-hmm.
why men are so frustrated and overworked and feeling overwhelmed and
Mm-hmm.
burnt out because
Right.
they haven't identified what is needed to create a, we can put a hashtag soft life and start implementing and then having women to support that. Because here's the thing, what I've learned about some women, we can't do all
Mm-hmm.
women. When some women identify or learn what men identify as a soft life, we don't have a problem creating that environment for them.
Right.
Right. And so the best way to get this information is from men because historically that's where we've gotten all of the information, right? Don't cry, suck it up. We got that
Right.
from men telling other men, and we as women just mocked it.
Look, I just had another friend of mine, one of my good friends. She just texted me. She said, "Soft equals gay," and but again, that is
That's what
how
people see.
that is how it's perceived. Robin says, "What about mellow life in his mellow era?" And that may work. We're gonna have to we're gonna what I'm saying, kick it around. I even may um make a polling question about it just to kind of see what kind of feedback I get. Um,
Right now, I'm looking at like other words that mean soft. A still life.
no, definitely.
You don't want a still life. Like I don't know. We'll work. We have to work on some words. And I'm trying to see
Yeah,
the.
we're gonna have to.
Can't really see. I'm sorry, you. Like I don't have my glasses on. Um, and those words are really really small with my glasses on. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I see what a hollow life. Oh, mellow. Lord, I say
Hello,
hollow.
life.
I gotta work on that hollow. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
everyone. First and foremost, I appreciate your feedback in this. I love this engagement from the chat. This is one of the many things I missed about doing this podcast. Just getting the feedback from the viewers, because this is why we do it. But we're definitely going to work on this. And look, and Robin says we've been conditioned to think soft is feminine,
Right,
and we have.
and it's not.
And and you know, and it.
Listen, I had a friend that I remember in high school. Everybody called him soft, and
Mhm.
he was gentle. Everybody called him soft. Well, some guys was trying to bother him and bully him, and excuse my French, but his soft ass kicked all three of their asses. So
Well, and I look, and I said, I told, had a conversation earlier, and I said people confuse someone who can express their emotions with somebody being soft or weak. But that very same person could be the same that tear the club up with you.
hmm
Just don't confuse someone who's command of their emotions with being weak.
and don't confuse somebody that hold in their feelings and show that they're angry as somebody that's strong.
Right. I agree.
I think that's more weak than anything because they're ready to blow at any moment.
Right. You know, you're lashing out at any and everything for no real reason because of what you got going on. Someone who
Mhm.
can manage their emotions is a strong person. That truly in being control of them can manage them, and not somebody just tea kettle. Once they get to a point like it's just we've gone well
Mhm.
over our time frame. Um,
Yes,
but
you know
it's
how
been a
we can
great
get. So let
conversation.
me shut up.
But it's been a great conversation, and I appreciate everyone that tuned in. I've missed you guys. I promise I'm gonna do my best not to stay away another 2 months. I'm gonna look at the calendar to see what November looks like. Um, as always, if there are topics that you want addressed, that you like for us to talk about, let me know. Text me, email me. You know, pigeon with a message. You know, whatever you got to do, call me, uh, and we'll get to it. I'm gonna see what Jamie's schedule looks like. I I think I owe now because I done pulled in about 3 4 shows. Um, so I don't even know what my IOU like right now, but we'll figure that out.
We go. You look. You
Uh,
know how, but we're gonna let it add up so it can equal to something big. I'm not. I'm not in a rush.
that's how we be. Um, let's see. Uh, Robin says great points, absolutely, Terrell. KP says good job. Thanks, Noop. I appreciate you. And Robin said this was good. Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. I'm glad y'all enjoyed the show. So without any further ado, we're gonna close out the show, and we're gonna ask Jamie to take us out with a prayer.
With a
Yes, ma'am.
prayer.
Yeah, well, yeah, you more than
Lord
capable.
Jesus, Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus, I come to you and say thank you for Terrell, his audience. We ask that you touch everyone that's listening now and people that come back. We ask that you to hear their heart, minds, and body. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Selena says this was a fantastic show. Thank you, Selena. Next show, I'm going to try to figure out how I can get you to be the moderator and monitor the comments. I haven't forgot about our conversation as it relate to that. Um, but for the next show, I think we want to try to figure out how we can make that work as well. But without any further ado, we're going to wrap it up. I look forward to the next episode. Um, and you guys have been great. Jamie, you did a wonderful job as always. I know that
Thanks for
anytime you hear,
having me.
I know you go bring it. Again, your event. Give everybody the details of that in case they want to try to show up or support in some way.
Okay. Oh, so the event is November 11th in Atlanta, Georgia at Little Five Points Community Center from 6 to 10 p.m. It's an evening event. Just come out, network. It's free. It's no cost to come in. We're just asking for sponsors and donations, but it's not a requirement. Follow me on Instagram for all of the information. I don't want to take up a time with addresses and stuff because I don't know it, so I'm gonna have to look it up. Anyway, anybody that donates or sponsors $200 or more, we are giving away vouchers for two trips for two to Las Vegas. So we have something in hand. Come out, support tacos and tequila for the first 25 people to show up. I always look like that. So if you're in the Atlanta area, come on out, network, and support. We love to have you here. Look
All
at my
right.
speed.
All right. Without any further ado, we appreciate y'all.